My name is Steph Spyro. I am the Daily Express's senior political correspondent and environment editor, and I am 24 years old. My journey into journalism was interesting. When I was in high school, I was dead set on being a fashion designer, but thankfully some work experience highlighted to me that maybe that wasn't the best career path for me. So from then, I, as part of an art project at school, went to a student protest at a local university where I interviewed some of the protesters, and that was just opened a new chapter for me. It kind of opened up this new world, this new possibility of journalism. So I went home and a few weeks later applied to study journalism at Kingston University in London. So moved across the world for the degree, and while there I started writing for our student newspaper, picking up some other work experience along the way. I met a lecturer who was instrumental in opening a door at the Express for me. So I switched gears as the pandemic shut the world down. I started up at the Daily Express, and since then I started off as a general news reporter, moved on to the environment, and most recently the lobby, where I do politics. I'm most inspired by people opening up and sharing their experiences of pain or struggles and using that to empower themselves and other people. A big part of my job is speaking to people who have overcome or are enduring obstacles, and listening to people open up, share their stories in an attempt to help others is hugely inspiring. I would have loved to have worked on the Partygate scandal. I think a lot of people felt personally, I think offended is a fair word to describe that scenario, because so many people weren't able to access their loved ones who were in hospital during the pandemic. But that story kind of went to the heart of government and held power to account, and that's what journalism and journalists should always strive to do. The weirdest job I've ever done happened in the comfort of my own home. Nigella Lawson had unveiled her secret recipe to buttering toast, and my news desk thought it would be a brilliant idea for a photographer to come to my house and for us to spend the afternoon trying to make Nigella Lawson's famous toast, which involves buttering it twice and then sprinkling some salt, which sounds simple, but I remember we ended up with like a stack of toast and thankfully there was no food waste. That did get used later that day, but I think just trying to get the angles on that right and trying to get the right amount of butter and leaving the right amount of time between buttering and sprinkling, I mean, it was an art to it. So definitely one of the weirder things I've ever had to do for the job. I think the future of news is incredibly exciting. Technology is definitely going to play a role. I think we might see an increase in longer form video in the short term. It's an incredibly exciting space, and it'll be interesting to see how people's relationship with news and how they take that in changes. But I think it'll definitely be more digital than ever, and maybe artificial intelligence will play a role in the future. Where do I see myself in 10 years' time? This is not the answer you're going to want, but I have no idea. If someone had said to me 3 years ago I would be where I am now, I would never have believed them. I have no idea where I'll be in the next 10 years. I've always been the kind of person that says yes to everything that sits right with me. If someone told me that they wanted to go into journalism, I would tell them to absolutely do it. It is so much fun. You never know where the story will take you, and you'll never know who you'll get to meet along the way, which is incredibly exciting. Journalism matters to me because we help people shape their view and their understanding of their world. We bridge the gap between science communicators, between the police, charities, businesses, and I think we play a vital role in helping people understand the world and the communities that they live in.